Pokémon shipping. Ash shippings, rocket shippings, Mime shippings. Pokémon shipping is a hot topic in the Pokémon community. So, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? Last time we explored the art style of Pokémon Journeys and how it stacks up against that of Sun and Moon and XYZ, and today we will leap into another topic that I have been asked questions about on my initial proposal for this whole Q&A community video series, and a topic that I am asked about literally every single day on this channel: Pokémon shipping. And I must say once again, thank you to everyone for submitting your questions. We've been tackling them by bundling them together into these separate videos with very distinct themes, an approach that takes a little bit more time to roll out, but something we've been having a lot of fun with along the way, and that's what counts. I'm also trying to include a few questions that have come up beyond the initial cutoff because, well, why not? I appreciate your questions. And with that said, let's dig into a handful of questions that I have received about Pokémon shipping. It will be a merry little question and answer session, so please do kindly request that your Machoke cross-chop that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and drop the details of your favorite ships in the comments, and let's jump right in. Here's a question from Siddhartha Prajapati to kick things off. Who is your favorite Pokegirl and which shipping do you support? Or which shipping do you want to be canon in the future? That is a difficult question, as I suppose they have each added their own flavor to the anime and brought something worthwhile for us to enjoy. So before we jump into the shippings, I think we should briefly touch on the girls themselves. And if we are setting aside the broader array of Pokegirls, the Joys, the Jennies, the Graces, and so on, and just focusing on the heroines, well, Misty is a classic and super fun for her fiery attitude and the comedy she's injected into each episode of the original series. May was the first heroine to bring along a distinct arc in the form of her quest to become a top Pokemon coordinator. Dawn represents the second coming of the Pokemon coordinator archetype while also being a kind-hearted BFF to Ash. Iris amped up the focus on battling yet again with her journey to become a Pokemon master. Serena is a very nice girl who is clearly into Ash and, well, you know. Lily is gentle, knowledgeable, and came in with a whole set of family issues to unpack. Lana is courageous, capable, and she can fish. Fishing, that is very useful and wonderful in itself. Mallow is a good, friendly girl who can cook, and Memories of the Mist, that episode was a real tearjerker as far as the Pokemon anime goes. Lastly, Koharu, Chloe. I like her character design, but as it stands, she's a bit of a black box. Much of her character dilemma stems from her not really knowing what she wants to do with her life. So I just hope we will see a lot more of her as she continues to figure herself out. Fun fact, her voice actor also voiced May in Pokemon Advanced Generations and Mayuri Shina in Steins Gate, which happens to be another great anime that I enjoy. So if we are speaking of these Pokegirls in terms of them being characters within the anime, it is very difficult to pick one of them. And this is because, one, there are aspects of each of them that I like, and two, each of them is also tied to a broader segment of the Pokemon anime, with all its story, characters, and world building as one part of something bigger. So just picking one out and saying this girl is the clear number one character among all the girls in the series, that is indeed a difficult pick to make. And so I think it is cool to just enjoy each of them for what they individually have brought to the anime, as every character that we've mentioned here has certainly brought their own unique flavor and characteristics to the anime, and that is something wonderful in itself. But if you are speaking of these Pokegirls as women in terms of who is most appealing as a woman from the viewpoint of someone of the opposite sex, or even as a prospective romantic partner. Well, as far as my tastes go, if one of these girls was transported into the real world as a woman in her 20s, I'd have to say probably Mallow. She's friendly, supportive, cheerful, she can cook, she's down to earth, etc. I like that kind of girl. Serena, Dawn, and Lana seem like they'd be very nice gals too. Bear in mind, I'm talking with regard to my personal tastes in human characteristics, not about Ash X so-and-so ships. As for the second aspect of your question, regarding the shippings and which ships I would like to be brought into the series canon, I will answer that alongside this next question that comes in from Oxy Soul. What's your age and where do you live and which shipping do you support? 10 in Pokemon years, Japan near a waterfall, and Brock with anyone. Why? Because Brock is a cool guy, and also because he's the ultimate Chad in Pokemon. He can cook, he can take care of things when hits the fan, he's jacked, and yet, in spite of this poor dude is like a starving cat who never gets fed. So personally, I think that after all these years, he deserves a big bowl of cat treats for being such an S-rank stud. Whether it's with Himeka, Susie, his Krogunk, Lucy, Olivia, or one of the Joys, when it comes to shipping, I support the Brock and one of the Brock shippings becoming a canonical reality. And as a side note, there are some cute shippings that are actually canonical that I like. For example, Wallace and Winona, Ruby and Sapphire, the daycare couple from Johto. They're just so sweet. And Professor Kukui and Burnett. The fact that we have these canonical Pokemon shippings just shows you that love is indeed in the air. The next question comes from Samurai Fox, who asks, which one, Ash X Misty or Ash X Serena? Thank you for the question, Samurai Fox. Answering this particular question is kind of like choosing to detonate the internet with either a blue button or a pink button, because both buttons have the same thing written on them, storm. But that is okay, because when it comes to Ash ships, we also have a third button, Ash X Chimchar. Seriously speaking, I did take a deep dive into these two characters in terms of their relationship with Ash in a previous video, so do check that out if you're interested in my in-depth thoughts on these two characters and how they interact with Ash, as well as what they bring to the Pokemon anime in general. And how about you? Ash and Misty or Ash and Serena? Almighty Potter asks, Serena plus Ash equals 1 plus 1? I suppose that depends on what 1 plus 1 equals. I mean, that could mean that they equal 2, or if we accept that logicism is indeed a falsity, then that would be quite difficult to prove analytically, and so they could also equal 1 or 4 or 3 or even 0. I don't really know. Ivan Dimitrov, hope I got your name right, asks, what do you think of Pokemon Ranger Boy 12? I think he is one of the best Amore shippers on YouTube. Back when I asked all of you to let me know which Pokemon YouTubers you like so that I could check out their videos and get up to speed on, what kind of things people are making. Pokemon Ranger Boy's name came up quite a few times, and I checked out a few of his videos, and while I don't know too much about him, he definitely seems like a nice guy. And I also had no idea that there were YouTubers who identified specifically as Amore shippers or Poke shippers or Dawn shippers and so on. Is that a thing? I ask because I seriously don't know. And if so, I have to announce myself right now as the very first official polyamorous BJJ shipper. Trump is my Opa, nice screen name, asks, do you like the possibility of a Go X Ash ship? Go X Ash. The first thing I have to say about that is, kids, and adults, mostly adults apparently. Let me tell you, make sure your safe search is turned on if you Google that. In all honesty though, I think all the different ships are quite interesting, and I think it's really cool seeing all the art, the fan fiction, and other derivative works that fans put together out of passion for these characters. So yeah, I suppose Go and Ash is an interesting ship in itself, and I must say that if there's Go and Ash, that means there must also be Jenny and Joy. And that Google image search, my friends, is what will take you to the pot of gold at the other end of the rainbow. Pokegirl Emma asks, who do you ship Deku with? Yeah, I don't know, but I ship him with Uraraka, so yeah. Thank you for the question, Pokegirl Emma, and yeah, Uraraka is definitely a nice girl. And I'm happy to see another My Hero Academia fan out there. There are actually a bunch of MHA videos I want to make, and one of them is indeed about Uraraka. So anybody on the channel who is interested in that stuff, just drop me a comment and let me know if you want me to make it. But to answer your question, Emma, I honestly hadn't thought too much about the My Hero Academia ships out there, so I just did a quick Google search to get acquainted with what the popular ships are. And I see we've got Deku Squad, Baku Deku, Izu Ocha, Todo Deku, Toga Deku, Kiri Deku, Toshi Deku, don't know how I feel about that one, and Eraser Deku. I think a lot of these are referring to platonic canonical ships, but since I think you're asking about romantic ships, I guess Uraraka is a really sweet, down-to-earth, pleasant girl, and I also really like Toga as a character, but I know shipping her with Deku would be a cruel thing to do because she's quite crazy, so I don't know. How about Mount Deku? Because there's a whole lot of Mount Lady there to love. Honestly though, probably Uraraka. And there we go, a Pokemon shipping talk with a little bit of broader anime shipping talk thrown in for good measure. Beyond just Pokemon, outside of my appreciation and intrigue with regard to some of the ships that were true classics for me, like Van and Hitomi in The Vision of Escaflowne, Haruka and Michiru in Sailor Moon, Krillin and Android 18 in Dragon Ball, Ymir and Krista in Attack on Titan. Apart from these and a handful of other shippings, ships are something that I usually haven't thought about too deeply, probably because I'm greedy and want everyone for myself. But they are an interesting topic. I mean, romance, whether explicit or implied, is a part of most anime, and moreover, a huge part of human existence. So it's only natural that fans have plenty of reason to get fired up about these relationships, whether they're confirmed, potential, or just ridiculous and funny. And that passion is something that I think is very cool. So what are your favorite shippings in Pokemon or in other anime? And with Pokemon Journeys still on hiatus, are you tuning into any other anime? If so, let us know. And if you want to hear about some other shows that I'm into, just drop me a line because I would love to do some shows on them. Well then, we will wrap up today's community video right here, but thanks as always everyone for tuning in. We will get on to part 5 of our community series as soon as I can get it together, and just thanks again. It's been a good time. I hope you all have a healthy and happy week, and as always, let's chat.